I know you would probably say to yourself, I don't have tunnel vision. I'm focused. I finally got here and I'm focused, right? But tunnel vision can feel like focus. It can feel like focus, but it's often fear in disguise. Nothing is gonna stop me, right? It could also be fear in disguise. It's that intense drive to stay focused on your goals, mission, and plan. It looks like discipline, but sometimes it's detachment. It sounds like hustle, but sometimes it's avoidance. Welcome. I'm Sybil Bull, your host for Faith Based Optimum Living, where we share transformative content on emotional wellness, purpose-driven living, and a meaningful life. We have been having a great time in this season where we're talking about vision. We've had some guests. Oh my goodness, if you missed the last one, please make sure you go back and listen. As a matter of fact, listen to all of them. And if you missed the last season, listen to that as well. But we've just been talking about vision, and we've been doing small mini series, and the mini series that we've been doing have been impactful. This one that we started, we're talking about peripheral wisdom. And we want to empower you to be able to move forward in your vision, but also identify what's going on. And I know you've asked questions because I have as well. Seems like you could be plowing through and doing a good job. Everything's going great. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're like, what is happening? What is taking place? What we want to talk about in this whole series, this mini series, is avoiding burnout and an ego-driven productivity, right? By learning to zoom out and stay spiritually aligned. So we want to avoid burnout. Anyone that's ever had burnout knows you want to avoid that. And we're going to talk about it. We don't want to be in this ego-driven productivity, and we want to be able to learn how to zoom out and stay spiritually aligned. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision? I know you would probably say to yourself, I don't have tunnel vision. I'm focused. I finally got here and I'm focused, right? But tunnel vision can feel like focus. It can feel like focus, but it's often fear in disguise. Nothing is gonna stop me, right? It could also be fear in disguise. I know that's new to you. It's not new to me. I really lived this. It's that intense drive to stay focused on your goals, mission, and plan. It looks like discipline, but sometimes it's detachment. It sounds like hustle, but sometimes it's avoidance. Today's episode is for the high achievers in the house. Me, that's who I used to be. The fixers, the visionaries who get so focused on the successive win, the next rollout, got to get this out, got to do the next thing, or the next responsibility that they stop noticing the warning signs. Let me say this again. Today's episode is for the high achievers. That's me. I'm in the room. I'm a high achiever. The fixers. The visionaries who get so focused on the successive win. It's a win. We got to win. Or the next rollout. What's the next thing we're about to do, right? Or the next responsibility that you stop noticing the warning signs that are happening, and they're happening quickly. This is what happens. Here are the warning signs. Emotional depletion, spiritual dryness, broken connection with the people around you, and most of all, just simply losing sight of God's bigger picture. Let's talk about what happens when our focus becomes a trap and how to get out of the tunnel and back into a healthy, aligned life. Has your focus turned into isolation, exhaustion, or control? That's the question I want to ask you. And this is what we're going to uncover and talk about today. Let's talk about the shadow of focus. Focus in itself is a gift, but it can become distorted like anything else sacred, right? Focus, again, is a gift. So we're not talking that focus is wrong, but it can become what? Distorted like anything else sacred. Here's what tunnel vision looks like. just in case you are in denial like I used to be years ago. You can't rest until the task is done. Even if your body or spirit begs for a break, your eyes is tired, your brain is foggy, you're hurting, your back is hurting, but you can't rest. You've got to get it done. Got to get it done. I'm so close. I'm so close. That's what it looks like, tunnel vision. What else? You reject help or feedback because it might slow your progress. I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm not going to do that. No. Right? Or it could mean your silence. You simply silence God's leading in favor of your own timeline or metrics. That means you're no longer listening to God. You're on your own timeline and your own metrics, and you feel good about it. Here's the danger of tunnel vision. You become blind to your own burnout. You miss relational or spiritual cues. I haven't talked to you in so long. We haven't gone on a date in so long. Mommy, Daddy, do you have time? You confuse your output with your worth. So you're working so hard because you're thinking the more you put out, that's your worth, right? That's confusing. That's the danger of tunnel vision. Maybe you've been like running full speed, right? In your ministry, in your business, or in your family life. But you haven't heard from God clearly in weeks. You've substituted momentum for discernment. I'm on this momentum, on the incline. I'm going. We're going, right? But you're missing your discernment. Luke 10:41-42 says, Martha, Martha, the Lord answered, you're worried and upset about many things, but a few things are needed, or indeed only one. And in this scripture, in case you don't know it, Martha is upset with Mary because Mary's sitting at Jesus' feet and Martha's busy doing the most, right? Which is most of us. And this is what the scriptures is referencing, that we can be so busy we no longer sit and hear God. And that's important that we do. What are you obsessing over right now that may not even be required? Have you ever obsessed? That would be the question, over something that you found out later that wasn't even important. I'll put my hands up, y'all. Yes, you got so obsessive into that. You were researching it. You're dissecting it. You're doing the most about it. You're creating all this stuff that you're going to do for it. And you find out it's not even required. It's not even a requirement, right? Let's talk about ego. Let's talk about control and performance. Because again, in this place of peripheral wisdom, we want to make sure that you are not burning out and then wake up one day and be like, oh, you know how I got here. You have to have answers. And these are the answers that I'm giving you. And I need you to take heed, because your vision requires that you have peripheral wisdom. In your ego, in your control, and in your performance, right? Let's talk about this. Sometimes tunnel vision isn't just about goals. It's about identity. Sometimes tunnel vision isn't just about goals. It's about identity, right? Let's ask ourselves a couple of questions. Is your drive rooted in calling or in proving something? I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. Have you ever just wanted to prove something? They thought I was going to fail. They thought we weren't going to make it. They thought I couldn't do it. They thought nobody had confidence in me. And now you just try to prove it. Or is it rooted in a calling? Here's another question to ask yourself. Are you trying to stay busy to avoid feeling unworthy, unseen, or out of control? Oh my gosh. You can just become a busy beaver for no reason. Yes, for a reason, because you're trying to prove that there's worth. Somebody's going to see me. I'm going to get it done. Or you want to have control. Are you measuring your value by your ability to perform? These are the questions to ask yourself. Am I measuring my value by my ability to perform? You got to get deep into that. Tunnel vision can be fueled by the following. Here's how you get to tunnel vision, just in case you didn't know. Fear of being behind. Some people call it FOMO, fear of missing out. Could also be fear of being behind. Oh, I don't want to be behind. I got to stay up on everything. Inside of you, panicking, carrying on, emotional, no stability, right? Because your ego is, I will not be behind. I'm this age. I'm here. Da, 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 da. You just keep telling yourself, I cannot be behind. Here's another reason we can get into tunnel vision: comparing with others. People telling me that they are going to start their podcast because I started my podcast. Don't compare yourself with me. I will celebrate you starting yours. But there are thousands of people in this last 2 years that have started a podcast before me. And I'm really happy, but I cannot compare myself to them and say, well, I'm supposed to start my podcast. I'm about to start my podcast. Mine gonna blow up. Good. I'm celebrating you. Don't compare yourself. And now you're adding something to your life that shouldn't be there. When you start comparing, oh, she did that, I'm gonna do this. He did that, I'm gonna do that. They did this, I'm gonna do that. Don't do that. Oh, this is how they're doing it. You're gonna start doing it. Don't do that. It's very dangerous. Now you're fueling yourself by something that is not even yours. Shame over previous failure. Another way that we get tunnel vision, and this may not make sense just because I just said it this way, but I'm about to give you an example. When you have shame over previous failure, then you're trying to prove, or you're trying to get back something. You're like, I was doing so good until this happened. And so you're trying to recreate some success because you want to get rid of the shame that is plaguing you in that failure. And what you simply do is you go into a tunnel vision. This is what I did. I did 5 of this, and I posted this many times, and then you're trying to prove something because failure happened, instead of using the failure as a lesson, right? And so shame is causing you to be dry. It's driving you. And you can simply just say, I failed, and learn a lesson or 2 or 3. Here's another thing that happens when tunnel vision is fueled: pressure to prove your calling is legitimate. You just want to prove to others that you're legitimate. So you're doing the most. You may overwork to meet metrics, or you may even try to earn validation. If you're in ministry, you might serve endlessly, but you don't make space for rest, silence, or surrender. You're that person who's now learning, but maybe you were doing it before, that you're always like, they said they needed someone in hospitality. They needed somebody to do the parking. They needed something. They needed that. And you just kept showing up for everything, and you were never resting. You never had silent time, and you never surrendered to really what God wanted you to do. Galatians 3:3 said, after beginning using the Spirit, are you now trying to finish using the flesh? Meaning that you don't want to keep walking in the flesh, right? Allow the Spirit of God to lead you. Allow the truth to help you. Where have you moved from grace-led to grind-led? Ooh. Where have you moved from grace-led to grind-led, right? Because there are certain things that tunnel vision tells you to grind out. And then in grace-led, you know that God's already set certain things for you, opportunities and open doors, and the way things work, they're supernatural. You can't even explain how things worked before. And that's because you are being grace-led. But when you start becoming grind-led, now you're in a place of tunnel vision, and your ego or the control or performance has taken over. How are you getting out of there? We got to get out of the tunnel. Let's talk about getting out of the tunnel. Yes, honey, we got to get out the tunnel. You can't see clearly when you're stuck in a narrow frame. You can't see clearly when you're stuck in a narrow frame. Here's how to widen your view and recalibrate. And I would love to say we would get this once and never have to do it. But the truth is, you may have to do it again. I've had to do it over and over and over, because sometimes we love what we're doing and we ended up in tunnel vision. We get ego. Oh, I'm making it happen. I'm the boss. I'm the GOAT. I'm a this, right? So let's get out of the tunnel. Let's get out of the tunnel. Here's what we could do. Number 1, stop and step back. To stop alone makes people feel anxious, right? But you have to be intentional to take a break. even if it's just 1 hour to rest, to breathe, or to release. Whatever it is, you got to stop and take a break. Stop and step back. Ask yourself this question. What am I not seeing? Ask yourself this question. What am I not seeing? Because although you're amazing and you're great, you're missing something. You're not seeing everything. Number 2, reconnect with the source. Get back into prayer and listen to what's being asked and just be in prayer time. Some of us may need to fast from the unnecessary noise, meaning that I'm going to check these emails right now. I'm not going to be on social right now. I'm going to do some blockout times, right? I'm going to just fast from the unnecessary noise, meaning that I'm going to cut out some emails. Like, I'm not going to check that right now. I'm going to get off of social. And I'm also going to fast from people's opinions. I'm not going to sit here all day just listening to you chat to me about your opinions and what you think I should do. That's another way that we step back, we reconnect. And now here's another one. We widen the circle. Invite wise counsel. I've been doing this over the years and it makes a difference. When you invite wise counsel, you ask them, what am I missing? What do you see? You ask them for their insight. Remember, wise counsel, not opinions. They are two different things. And allow trusted voices to speak into your blind spots, because no matter how great you are, no matter how much you're producing, we all have blind spots. Be open to the counsel. Don't invite people into your circle and then shut them down because now you think you're still the expert. If you have been in an area of burnout and your peripheral wisdom and vision hasn't been good because you weren't using the direction and discernment, then when counsel is here, listen to counsel. Here's another one you can do. You can reframe your success. What if success isn't more louder and faster, but more profound, a little bit slower and more precise? What happens if that's what success looks like? If you reframe it. I sat down with myself several times over the last decade, and I have said, let me reframe success, because obviously this is not what I want my success to look like. I don't want it to always be loud and fast. Sometimes I do want it to be profound. I want it to be slower. I want it to be more precise. And it's brought me so much more joy having done it that way. Who is this for? Are you trying to show up for other people, or are you doing it for God, or is this your ego? Is this all about Sybil? Is this about God? Is it about you? That's the question you have to make sure. If you're reframing it and God is not being glorified, you're not thinking about him, and most of your reframing and how you're going to serve more people, impact more people, or that it's going to be it might be a little bit slower what I'm doing, but it's going to reach more quality people, right? It's okay. Just make sure you do those things. Here are some practical exercises you could do. Write down your top 3 current goals. Whatever your 3 goals are, write them down, and then ask which one of these came from God and which came from pressure. Oh my goodness. If I threw it out, but I had some goals on a piece of paper, like a big piece of paper, and they were goals. Like, they were great goals. Like, you would have applauded me because you would have said, oh my God, Sib, these are great goals. And what I did was, because I stepped back and because I do the things that I'm sharing with you, I was able to say, well, God, which one is me and which one is, where does this come from? And sometimes we could actually pressure ourselves into areas to do things that these goals, they're not even necessary, right? You want to make sure that when you're writing it down, make sure you're able to divide what is actually from pressure and what is from God. Isaiah 30:15 says, in repentance and rest is your salvation. In quietness and trust is your strength. So you want to just reflect on, God, help me to be in a place where I rest in you, where I take quiet time and I trust in you. Here's my question to you. Where do you need to return to rest, and what will happen if you don't? I was talking to someone and I said, you know what? They were telling me they were sick or whatever, like stuff that was going on. And I said to them, I said, you really need to slow down. And they said, I'm trying. I said, no, you can't try. You have to make it happen because your body is telling you. So when you're not returning to rest, when you're not doing it, something's going to happen that you don't want to happen. And it's because you ignored what was going on, the signs, right? And I just want you to not do that. So I want you to really be serious about this reflection, really take yourself seriously, care for yourself. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about peripheral vision and wisdom, and getting to a place where you avoid the burnout and that you don't allow your ego to just drive you until you're sick, in the hospital sick, down for weeks sick. Now you can't do any of the things you wanted to do because you've added goals and pressured yourself into doing things. Remember this in our closing. Let me just remind you, focus is what? A gift. But it becomes a trap when it closes one's eyes to the spirit. So again, focus is a gift. But when you close your eyes and you don't see the Spirit of God, you don't remember your body, you as a person, your community, or your own needs, then you're now trapped in this place. There is grace to step out of the tunnel, because tunnel vision is not healthy. Focus is a gift, but tunnel vision is not. There's wisdom on the peripheral, being able to discern. There is a vision beyond your current task list. Sometimes you have to get out of that place of just doing a task and say, what is the real vision? Can you see 5 years, 4 days ahead? I sat down and I said, I can't see. That's really important to me. If all I can see is my task and my goals, then that means I really can't see. I have to be able to remember the why, remember the vision that's upon my life, the purpose in which I've been designed. And that's what I want to encourage you to do. I want you to remember the vision, right? Not just the tasks or the goals. You don't have to earn your worth. This is our reflection time, because your worth is not attached just to what you do. You don't have to grind your way to God. God's already given you grace and blessings and abundance for it. And you don't need to lead alone. You don't have to lead and be in a space where everything feels empty. You can build and you can have abundance. And that's what you ask God for. So here's your week's challenge. Schedule 1 hour to unplug and reflect this week. Just 1 hour during the week. I know you can do that. Oh, you don't understand where I'm at. I do. I understand that the tunnel vision may be taking you out, and I want you to be able to get into an area where you are going to step back and say, I matter. My health matters. My relationships matter. My peace matters. My rest matters, right? So 1 hour. And I want you to ask God, where am I focused but not aligned? Whoo! Because you can be focused and not aligned. And then choose one goal or commitment to pause, delegate, or release. Whew, doesn't that feel good? Like, just think about one thing that you can pause on, one thing you can delegate or release. Everything is not as necessary as you think. Everything is not. For someone who's just jumped on, you might be saying, hey, what were you talking about? I just want to let you know, in this whole new season, we're talking about vision. And today we talked about tunnel vision, when your focus blinds you. We want to have peripheral wisdom, which is what this series is about. We have a great guest coming next week, and we don't want you to miss the conversation and what they're going to bring to it. If this episode helped you breathe deeper or see clearer, share it with someone who may be running on empty and they're like, oh my God, I just don't feel like myself. Share it out. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done it. If you watched all the way to this moment and you didn't subscribe, come on, subscribe. Turn on that notification, leave a review, and remember that you can get the Widen the View worksheet at civilbull.com. It's just a little process, how to process your goals, motives, and next steps. Just something to help you. I just want to give you some resources in this season that we're doing as we're talking about vision, because everything is about vision and it's so important. I'm excited that we had this moment together. I hope that you received something. Thank you for joining me on Optimum Living. I'm Civil Bull, helping you grow, live fully, and unlock the life you were created to enjoy. Until next time, stay grounded, stay grateful, and keep reaching for the life that God has shown you. And remember, you are designed to live an optimum life. I'll see you in the next episode.